Hello friends, in this video lecture we are going to learn a new method for integration, that is the method of partial fractions. This method is very important and very easy, but if you have to work out some calculation steps more, right? But if you understand conceptually well, then this is very easy method. Now, first question arises when we have to apply partial fraction method, right? While degree of the denominator is less than degree of numerator, right? Then see here, if fx and gx are two polynomials and fx upon gx define the rational algebraic functions of x that you learn in relation and function in 11th standard also, right? When degree of fx, that is, if the function is given fx upon gx, right? So degree of fx is less than degree of gx, that is degree of, as I told you earlier, right? As I told you, degree of numerator is less than degree of denominator, then the given function, this fx upon gx function, is called a proper rational function. And while it's a given a proper rational function, then you have to apply a method of partial fraction. When not a single standard formula is applicable, then you have to go for this partial fraction method. Means degree of numerator is less than degree of denominator, then it's called a proper rational function. And for proper rational function, if not a standard formula is applicable, then you have to apply this method of partial fraction method, right? And while degree of fx, that is numerator degree, is greater than denominator degree, then it's called the improper rational function. And if improper rational function is given, then you have to change that function into a proper rational function, and then you can apply a method of this partial fraction method. Otherwise, you are not able to apply a method of proper this partial fraction method. Also remember one thing: if degree of the numerator and denominator are same, then you can't apply a method of this partial fraction. Always degree of the numerator must be less than, right, than the denominator's degree. Then you can apply partial fraction method. If fx upon gx is improper rational function, then as I told you, we divide fx by gx and convert into a proper rational function as fx upon gx is equal to 5x plus hx upon gx. That you know how to divide a polynomial, you learn in lower classes in secondary level also, so no need to explain at this level, right? Any proper rational function fx upon gx can be expressed as the sum of the rational function, each having a simple factor of gx, right? So we have to express this numerator as a simple factor of the gx, that is denominator, right? And the method of this finding out the fraction is called a partial fraction method, and the process of obtaining them is called a resolution or decomposition of fx upon gx, right, into a partial fraction. So this is the method of partial fractions, right? Now we are going to how to solve, in which type of partial fraction you have to apply which method, that I will show you, but after clearing this, okay? So wait. So partial fraction method is applicable for proper rational function, and proper rational function means degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, that you have to remember. And if it is not less than, degree of the numerator is not less than the degree of the denominator, then it's called the improper rational function. And improper rational function, for integrate, you have to change into a proper rational function dividing by denominator, right? So now after you getting the proper rational function, how to integrate, how to use the partial fraction method. So suppose first method is you have this type of factor in denominator, means while you have to apply partial fraction method, if it is a proper rational function and denominator should be factorized, right? And the factor of the denominator is x minus a, x minus b, that is non-repeated linear root. This is called non-repeated linear root, right? So if it says a non-repeated linear root, then what you have to do? Forget this numerator, whatever it may be. It's a quadratic function or a simple function, don't worry for that, right? Or constant only. If it is anything, one linear function, and in denominator there is a linear root, product of linear root, then what you have to do? Take one constant upon one linear root plus another constant upon another linear root, like this. I am taking a as a constant, so a upon one linear root, right, plus b constant upon another factor, right? But remember one thing, why you have to apply this partial fraction method? It's a proper rational function and denominator should be factorized, right? And if there is a linear factor, right, non-repeated linear factor, then take one constant, one factor, plus another constant, another factor, plus third constant, third factor, plus fourth constant, fourth factor. Whatever factors are in denominator, you have to take that constant, right? Order is not important. You can write a upon x minus b plus b upon x minus a also, no matter. Answer should be first term will come for second and second term will become first term, otherwise no change in your answer, right? Now more than 2 factor, then take as I said you 1, 2, 3, right? Now suppose there is a linear root and a repeated root. This is repeated, but I forget to write. Suppose linear root. Suppose like this, a px plus q whole upon x minus a and x minus b whole square. So this is linear root. This is also linear root, but repeated. Square means it 2 times x minus b. In this type of case, what you have to do? Write one constant upon one factor plus another constant upon another factor, but it is a repeated root, so write c, another constant upon repeated root square, right? If it is 3 times, then same like this, a upon x minus a, b upon x minus a whole square, and c upon x minus a whole cube, right? So repeated linear root, you have to write repeated constant, right? Now in numerator, any term that is here is given quadratic, linear, and this is quadratic. So one of the factor of the denominator is now quadratic. Then always express quadratic factor as ax plus b form, either px plus q form, right? So what you have to do? This is linear. For linear, you have to take one constant, that is a upon x minus a upon x minus a. Now for quadratic, this is quadratic factor. So for quadratic factor, I said you that you have to take in the form of ax plus b, px plus q, cx plus d. So already a is engaged here, so I am taking b and c. So bx plus c, that is linear form upon quadratic factor, right? But remember one thing, this ax square plus bx plus c, this denominator's factor, quadratic factor, should not be factorized. If it is factorized, then you have to take a factor, right? Now non-repeated quadratic factor, then similarly quadratic, you have to take ax plus b form. So ax plus b upon x square plus ax plus b, and cx plus d, another quadratic, apply cx plus d upon another quadratic form. So after writing your given expression in this method, in this way, then what you have to do? Then you have to find out this constant. Suppose this question is there, right? Then you have to find out a, b and c, and for that you have many methods, right? So that will be I am explaining on numericals. Okay, so wait. So first question, right? Question number, that is example number, illustration number 11, page 318, I is equal to x plus 2, x plus 1. So in denominator, x plus 2, x plus 1 there. That is linear root, non-repeated, right? So also degree of this is if you multiply x square. So degree of numerator is less than degree of denominator, that is this is in partial, right, proper rational function. And if this is proper rational function and denominator is factorized, we have to apply partial fraction method. Now in partial fraction method, now this is given, so how to apply the method? See, you have to write first factor, that is x plus 2, x plus 1, as I explained you earlier, right? Now these two factor is equal to one constant upon one factor, so I am writing x plus 2 plus another constant, another factor. Order is not important. You can write a upon x plus 1 plus b upon x plus 2, right? No matter. Got it? बात समझ में आती है ना? हाँ? Okay. So now what to do? Now take LCM. So if we take LCM, here is LCM x plus 1, x plus 2. This is x plus 1, x plus 2. So if we take LCM, so x plus 2, x plus 1 is equal to a. X plus 1 plus b, x plus 2 whole upon x plus 2, x plus 1. So this will be cut, right? So I am writing this step first and last time. No need to write this step. You can write directly this step. 1 is equal to and cross multiplying, because LCM of this is x plus 1, x plus 2, and here is also x plus 1, x plus 2. So no need to write this step, right? So this is first and last time. But this is the first question of partial fraction method, that's why I am writing, right? So directly cross multiplying a x plus 1 plus b x plus 2. Got it? Any problem? Right? Now expanding this, this is ax plus a plus bx plus twice b, right? So now 1 is equal to, this is taking x common from here, a plus b into x plus a plus twice b plus a plus twice b, right? So comparing the coefficient of both sides, means coefficient of x is here a plus b, but here is no x, that is coefficient of x is 0 left hand side. So writing a plus b is equal to 0, and here coefficient of constant, this is constant term, is 1 here. So a plus twice b is equal to 1. Now solving these two equations, either substitute value of a is equal to minus b here, right? Either b is equal to minus a, and so either you can directly subtract, right, and find out the value of a. So if we write a is equal to b here, so from this a is equal to minus b, equation number 1, and writing a equal to minus b here, so minus b plus twice b is equal to 1. That is twice b minus b is b. So we get b is equal to 1. That is a is equal to minus 1. So and a is equal to minus 1. So what we get? A is equal to minus 1, right? And b is equal to 1. So we get these two values, right? So value of this coefficient depends on factor, which factor you write in denominator. If I write a upon x plus 1, then my answer of a is 1 and my answer of b is minus 1. So depend in which order you are taking here denominator, right? So don't worry about that. So never copy from your friends in exam, because in exam you find out this a equal to minus 1, b equal to 1, and your friend writes a upon x plus 1 and b upon x plus 2, then you are going to change your answer. So that is not correct, right? You are also correct, but you write, you change the coefficients, right? That's why your answer will be changed, okay, according to that. So this is the way to find out a and b. So now substituting this a and b here in this equation, what we get? So therefore 1 upon x plus 2 into x plus 1 is equal to a. A is minus 1. So minus 1 upon x plus 2 plus b. B is 1. That is 1 upon x plus 1. And this is the value of my I. So integrating both sides, right? So integrating both sides, what we get? This is integration 1 upon x plus 2 x plus 1 dx is equal to minus is constant. So have 1 upon x plus 2 dx plus integration 1 upon x plus 1 dx. So therefore I is equal to minus, as it is, log x plus 2, as derivative of the denominator is in numerator. Answer is log mod fx. Fx is x plus 2. So answer is log mod x plus 2 plus log. Same thing, derivative of the denominator is in numerator. Log mod x plus 1 plus c. So now this is log a minus log b. That is log a upon b. So I is equal to log a is x plus 1 upon x plus 2 plus c. This is your answer, right? Got it? Now there are lots of methods to find out a and b, right? So no need to write this much step, right? So this is first method which is given in your textbook. So now I am going to give you some shortcut methods for find out your constant, right? So second method, just I am explaining how to find a and b, that is constant, okay? So then answer will be same, because a and b are same, answer will be same. So one of the factor is x plus 2, right? So in this equation, say this is equation number alpha, right? So x plus 2 is one of the factor, that is x plus 2 is factor, then x plus 2 is equal to 0, that is you have to take x is equal to minus 2. You have to take x is equal to minus 2. So taking x is equal to minus 2 in alpha, so from alpha what we get? From alpha, taking x is equal to, right? Taking x is equal to minus 2, as this is a factor. So from alpha what we get? X is equal to minus 2. So 1 is equal to a into minus 1. A into minus 1 alpha, right? And x is minus 2. So this is 0. So what is answer? A is minus 1, right? Now x plus 1 is one of the factor. So from alpha, taking x is equal to minus 1. So if we take x equal to minus 1 from alpha, what we get? 1 is equal to, this is 0, and minus 1, that is 2 minus 1 is 1. So b is 1. So you have to verify this thing only, that we get the same answer. Now integrating and these steps are common in all methods. So this is in 2 steps we will get. Another method to find out constant, right? While it is given a linear root, remember this thing, while it is given linear root, then now this method is applicable also, right? But if it is a quadratic, then you are not able to apply this method. For quadratic, you have to go for this compulsory. That's why I am showing this method also. Now third method, without writing any step, from here, right, from beta. Now I am saying this as a beta, okay, right? So if you write this, okay, now what you have to do? First x plus 2, that is x equal to minus 2. So delete your x minus 2, that is, never consider this, no need to delete, right? Remove this. So remaining is value of a, because x plus 2 is in denominator of a, so your a is equal to, now write x is equal to minus 2 here, what you get? Minus 1. So a is equal to 1 upon minus 1, and for b is upon the x plus 1, that is denominator of the b is x plus 1, so take x is equal to minus 1. So x plus 1, remove x plus 1, delete x plus 1, what you get? Substitute x equal to 1, 2 minus 1, that is 1, so b is equal to 1, so directly you can write value of a and b, right? And fourth method for finding out value of constant, and for quadratic and repeated root, I am going to use this method. Take any random value, forget this roots, right? So you can take x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 2, right? According to any value, take x0, x1, right? Here no x0 and x1, so I am taking x equal to 0. So if I take x equal to 0 from alpha, what we get? X equal to 0. This implies, that is alpha implies, right, x equal to 0, then alpha implies a, right? So what we get? 1 is equal to x is 0 is a, and plus twice b. This is one equation, and I am taking x is equal to 1 because we take already minus 1 there, so I am going for another factor, right? So you can believe that you can take any value. So I am taking x is equal to 1, so alpha implies, if we take x is equal to 1, then this is 1 plus 1, that is 2, so 1 is equal to twice a plus 3b, right? Now solving these two equations, you will be get x is equal to, that is a is equal to minus 1 and b is equal to 1. So these are four methods to find out the values of constant, right? But when it is given a linear root, then go for this. When repeated root is, go for this first for a linear root. Either take random value for repeated, and quadratic root you have to apply this. Take a random value, forget your factor, you will be get answer first. Okay? So this is the method. Now no need to apply partial fraction method for this, for particular this question, because this question if you multiply, so this become integration 1 upon, this is x square plus 3x plus 2 dx. So now this is 1 upon quadratic form, and 1 upon quadratic, then what you have to do? Find out the last term, make it perfect square and apply any formula of 6, only 3, because this is not in root. So 1 upon x square plus a square, x square minus a square minus x square formula you can apply. So this is the second method, except partial fraction. But I show how to solve partial fractions question, that's why I am explaining this. Otherwise this is also important. And also not this required, not partial fraction required. Third method for solving this is third method, right? While you are given a consecutive factor like this, then you can write I is equal to integration, consecutive factor is given x plus 2, x plus 1 dx. Make an adjustment of consecutive factor if you can, right? जो शॉर्टकट दिखा रहा हूं वो शॉर्टकट पर्टिकुलर टाइप के लिए ही होती है, ये आपको याद रखना है। जो मैंने वीडियो भी अपलोड किया है शॉर्टकट्स का, वो पर्टिकुलर टाइप के लिए, नॉट फॉर ऑल मेथड। रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, राइट? सो दिस इज कंसेक्यूटिव फैक्टर x plus 1, x plus 2. So can I write like this? x plus 2 minus x plus 1. So x will be cut. 2 minus 1 is 1. So instead of 1 I am writing here, instead of 1 I am writing this. Now bifurcate, you will get your answer. So what is your I? 1 upon x plus 1 dx minus integration 1 upon x plus 2 dx log mod x plus 1 minus log mod x plus 2. You will be get your answer very easily. So this is the MCQ type questions. While it is given a linear non-repeated truth, that is the your MCQ question, right? So see, one example, one question, lots of method for finding out, or 4 method for finding out constants for only one partial fraction method. Then if you don't want to apply partial fraction method, if it is not given stated in question that use only partial fraction method, then you can go for this method or this method, and I hope you will be practiced for this type of method, right? Suppose instead of this 1 here, if it is given 2, then what you have to do? This is 1, so you first you have to divide and multiply by 2 and then adjust, right? Okay, so got it? I hope you will follow what I told you. Okay, so in next lecture we will going to discuss more questions of partial fraction method, right? That is for repeated root, linear and repeated root, linear and quadratic root, right?